What's going on, ballers? In the last video, I talked about who I think my top 25 players are for the 2024 season, and those are all players that we're expecting to be good. But what about those rookies, those end of rotation guys, and guys who are just now in the right situation to succeed? In this video, I'm going to talk about the one player on each Eastern Conference team who I think is most likely to have a breakout season, and tomorrow I'll release a video in this topic for the Western Conference. We'll start out with the Milwaukee Bucks, and this one is tough as the vast majority of the Bucks rotation's either in their prime or past their prime. Giannis and Bobby Portis are 28, Middleton's 32, Lillard's 33, Brook Lopez is 35, you get the point. They have like 9 veterans firmly entrenched in their rotation, leaving minimal room for a breakout player. It seems like MarJon Beauchamp's gonna kinda get that 10th spot, but I'm playing the long game and saying Andre Jackson Jr. will be their breakout player this year. The 36th pick in the 2023 draft can play from the point guard position to the small forward position. He's not an elite scorer by any means, but he's a great defender, hustler, and rebounder for a guard, and it feels like that's what they need around all the other starters in the rotation. If he can hit his threes, he should be able to sneak into the rotation and make an impact. The Boston Celtics made 2 huge moves this offseason, acquiring Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday, but plenty of room has opened up in their rotation. For their breakout player, you could go with Jordan Walsh, a guy who impressed in Summer League and may make the Celtics rotation, but I'm going to go with Peyton Pritchard. Having lost Marcus Smart and Malcolm Brogdon this offseason, Peyton Pritchard should get consistent playing time for the first time in his career, and the Celtics trust him, shown by his $30 million extension he got this offseason. He's always been a fan favorite in Boston, and he could be their top scorer off the bench this season. For the Philadelphia 76ers, their breakout player has gotten better every season, and I think this season will be his official breakout into a star caliber player. The player I'm talking about is Tyrese Maxey. With James Harden's status still kinda up in the air, it's looking like he might be the primary ball handler, and even if Harden's playing, he still might be the second scoring option behind Joel Embiid. Last season he averaged over 20 points on 48-43 splits, which is amazing efficiency. The 76ers are still going to be in playoff contention next year, and I think Maxey will average almost 25 points per game and has a legitimate shot to make his first All-Star appearance. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, I am confident saying Evan Mobley will be their breakout player. He had a fantastic rookie season in 2022, but had a little bit of a stagnating sophomore slump in 2023, while being borderline atrocious against the Knicks in the playoffs. I think he will put his offensive game together in 2024 and will continue to get a little bit smarter on the defensive end, where he's already a monster. He has all the tools, and the Cavs need him to put it together if they're going to be truly competitive in the 2024 postseason. The New York Knicks just had their best season in a decade thanks to the rise of Jalen Brunson, their 2023 breakout player. For their 2024 breakout player, I really struggled picking between Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, and Quentin Grimes, but I eventually landed on Quentin Grimes. His defense continues to improve, and he's really important for the Knicks due to his ability to hit the three-pointer at a 38% clip. IQ and Barrett will improve this season, I hope, as a Knicks fan at least, but I think Grimes will have the most unforeseen improvement, making him the breakout player. Due to how Mikal Bridges ended last season, I can't really say in good faith he'd be a breakout player, because he broke out after being traded to Brooklyn, averaging over 26 points a night. Instead, I'm going to go with a player that broke out, then was boxed back into a bench role, Cam Thomas. Now, I do think he will still be a bench player behind Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, but I think he's going to play like 24 plus minutes a game. I think he's going to have a good opportunity to show off his scoring prowess like he did in that stretch in February 2023. This is going to be a really interesting season for Miami. They started off their offseason losing Max Strus and Gabe Vincent, and then just watched as Damian Lillard got traded to one of their biggest competitors in the Eastern Conference. The rotation isn't as deep as last season, but the Heat are amazing at finding diamonds in the rough. With his great preseason showing, I think Jaime Jacques Jr. will crack the rotation and be the Miami Heat's 2024 breakout player. He seems to embrace the Heat culture and could be a very needed burst of offense off the bench with his above-average shot-making ability as well. For the Atlanta Hawks, I was very divided on choosing AJ Griffin or Onyeka Okongwu. If Clint Capella were to be traded, I would absolutely choose Okongwu because I think that he's super talented and just not getting enough run behind Capella. but since Capella just signed an extension, he can only do so much as a backup. I'm gonna go with AJ Griffin. I think he can average over 12 points per game this season and shoot maybe 40% from 3 for a Hawks team that will once again qualify for the postseason. One of my favorite breakout projections is the Toronto Raptors rookie Grady Dick. Will Grady Dick ever be the best player on a team? Definitely not. But could he be a 20 point per game scorer at some point in his career? Absolutely. Grady Dick was a 40% 3-point shooter in college on 5 attempts per game. He might be the best shooter in this entire draft, and he does this as a 6'8" guard. I think he will play well enough that if Toronto's under 500 at the deadline, they'll trade away Gary Trent, who has an expiring deal, and he'll be the starter for the second half of the season. For the Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Haliburton officially broke out as an all-star last season, so he's not the breakout player. And as much as I like Benedict Mathurin, I could see him stagnate a little bit in his sophomore season. So, as a somewhat biased Knicks fan, I'm going to say Obi Toppin. It's looking like Obi Toppin's on track to win the starting job over rookie Jarace Walker, which makes him prime for a breakout campaign. Behind Julius Randle, he's never played over 18 minutes a game for a season, but he really improved as a player last year. He shot over 34% from 3 on almost 4 attempts, and with an amazing passer in Tyrese Haliburton, the alley-oop combo between him could be lethal. For the Washington Wizards, I considered a few candidates, none of whom were Jordan Poole. I feel like we already know who he is, and although his scoring average will definitely improve, it wouldn't really be a breakout campaign. I also decided not to go with their rookie Bilal Coulibaly, so I chose Corey Kispert. Corey Kispert is a bit older, but he's only entering his 3rd NBA season, and he's always going to have a place on the court. He shot 50% from the field last year and over 42% from 3. He also upped his scoring average from 8 points in 2022 to 11 points in 2023. I think he's going to up his scoring average to 15 points per game with the added touches on this atrocious Wizards team, and will be their breakout player. The Orlando Magic are one of the hardest teams for this little experiment, as it feels like they have 4 guards that could break out. I think Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero will continue to improve, but not in a way unforeseen to the general public, so I'm not going to choose them. I am going to pick Jalen Suggs, but I'm not sure how confident I am. From the preseason, it looks like Suggs will be a starter, so that gives him the most opportunity to break out for now. He really needs to improve his shooting splits, but he has all the tools to be a great NBA player. If he starts out slow though, Anthony Black or Jet Howard could definitely get some extra run and be on breakout watch. Next, we have the dumpster fire of an organization that is the Charlotte Hornets. I'm not even sure who's going to be on their team come January, since it seems that all their players either get arrested or go insane on Instagram Live. I think Brandon Miller will perform about as expected, and I still believe the Charlotte Hornets should have selected Scoot Henderson. So for their breakout player, I'm going to select Mark Williams. He averaged 9 points and 7 rebounds last season, but did average 12 points and 10 rebounds with over a block per game when he was the starter. I think he is going to be the starter in Charlotte this season, and will have a very nice season for a still terrible Charlotte Hornets team. And last, but I guess technically least for the standings last year, but not least in terms of their breakout player, I think there's no other correct answer besides Cade Cunningham. He averaged 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists per game last season, but only played 12 games. By every single report, Cade Cunningham was dominating the best players on the planet as the top dog on the USA Select team. This guy was a first overall pick, and this will be the year Cade Cunningham makes his first All-Star game and leaps into the star conversation. So let me know what you guys think. I know that sometimes my criteria for choosing a breakout player is a little bit inconsistent, but I'm thinking about it just kind of as who's going to be their most surprise player, or the player that most outperforms their expectations for next season. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and comment, and be sure to stay tuned for tomorrow's video where I do this for the Western Conference teams. Peace.